The story of a cancer survivor starts with a young boy in his sophomore year of high school. This young boy was me, Brennan Haynes. As a sophomore, I missed a month of school with a life-threatening case of pneumonia. I was in the Greater Baltimore Medical Center for a week before I was transferred to Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital for 2 weeks. Once I was released from the hospital, I recovered fully and had to go to appointments with a doctor at GBMC once a year to make sure that everything was still going good. This man was named Dr. Kunar, and every time I see him, I thank him for saving my life. When I went into Dr. Kunar's office for my first yearly checkup, he started feeling my neck to see if anything was swollen. When feeling my neck, he noticed a lump which he thought shouldn't be there. He sent me to get a CAT scan and a biopsy of it the next day to see what this was. After about a week of waiting, Dr. Kunar called and invited me and my family into his office to discuss the news in person. Immediately, a million thoughts started running through my head. I knew what the diagnosis was before I even went into his office. It was cancer. But where was it located? How far had it spread? Was I going to die? Dr. Kunar addressed all of this a few hours later in the meeting. He informed me that the cancer was in my parathyroid gland. The parathyroid gland creates a hormone that the body uses to measure the calcium levels in everyone's body. Everyone has 4 of them and only needs 1 of them to survive. Thankfully, Dr. Kunar found the cancer early enough so it was only in 1 gland and could be removed through surgery. There was no need for chemotherapy or any other kind of radiation. The surgery was scheduled a few weeks later and was performed by Dr. Kunar, the man who had been so helpful through the entire process. On the day of the surgery, I arrived at the hospital around 7 a.m. They took me into the waiting room for those going into surgery and did things such as taking my blood pressure and temperature and giving me surgical clothes to change into. Once all of that was over, Dr. Kunar came and spoke to me and my parents, detailing the procedure he was going to do and assuring me that everything was going to be okay. The last thing I remember was being wheeled on a stretcher to the operating room and Dr. Kunar placing the anesthesia mask on top of my mouth and nose. When I woke up, I was alone in the post-surgery patient room. My parents were immediately called back and we were reunited. The surgery had gone well and there were no more traces of cancer in my body. Although it didn't feel like it at the time, that was one of the best days of my life. I now go for checkups at GBMC every 6 months to make sure that nothing is growing back. After the surgery, I was diagnosed with jaw tumor syndrome, a newly discovered rare disease that is passed down through generations. Jaw tumor syndrome is a condition characterized by the overactivity of the parathyroid glands, which is also known as hyperparathyroidism. Hyperparathyroidism disrupts the normal balance of calcium in the blood, which can lead to kidney stones, osteoporosis, nausea, vomiting, high blood pressure, weakness, and fatigue. My kids will most likely be born with the disease, and there is nothing that I can do about that. The only thing I can do is tell them this story and ensure them that everything is going to be okay.